Elara, the meticulous guardian of the city's ancient clock tower, lives by the second, when a microscopic flaw throws the entire city's timing off by a single elusive moment. She learns that perfection can be the enemy of a beautiful life. Elara lived within the Chronos apex, a towering monument of copper, brass, and silence that dominated the city skyline. It was her sanctuary, her responsibility, and her entire world. The air inside smelled of ozone, hot oil, and the faint metallic tang of antiquity. Every gear, spring, and jewel was catalogued, cleaned, and perfectly synchronized. Elara was the human embodiment of this precision. Sharp-featured, dressed in immaculate, tailored linen, her life plotted by a schedule as unforgiving as the main pendulum's swing. Her days were a ritual: inspection of the main regulator, followed by exactly 12 ounces of coffee poured from a specific thermos, concluded by the daily system sync. It was a life of absolute order, and she was fiercely proud of it. Then, the anomaly appeared. The daily diagnostic report, projected onto a massive wall of glass displays, flashed a single line that shouldn't exist. System drift detected +0.001 seconds over 24 hours. Elara initially rationalized it as sensor noise, a fleeting ghost in the machine. But the next day, the error had doubled. It was a measurable, undeniable flaw, a stain on the perfection she guarded. To the outside world, this fraction of a moment was irrelevant, but to Elara, it was a cosmological catastrophe, a fundamental failure of the most perfect instrument in existence. She spent hours zooming in on the slow-moving pinions, adjusting microscopic screws, and monitoring thermal expansion, searching for the slightest vibrational whisper of disorder. Her search drove her into the deepest levels of the tower, a churning labyrinth of gears larger than herself. She moved with a magnification lens strapped to her eye and a sonic stethoscope pressed against the humming brass. She was now completely obsessed, listening for the phantom sound of disorder. Unbeknownst to Elara, the small temporal deviation was rippling outward into the city in the form of beautiful, unplanned coincidences. A baker, momentarily distracted by the shifting time, arrived 1 second late, missing the delivery truck entirely. This enforced wait led him to bump into a long-lost friend on the corner, sparking a joyous reunion. Across town, a bus arrival was delayed by a fraction of a moment, just enough time for a young woman, glancing up boredly, to catch the eye of a cartoonist sketching on a nearby bench. A shared smile became a shared coffee. Elsewhere, a traffic light, cycling 1 moment too early, held up a delivery van for a necessary second, preventing a small, adventurous dog from bounding into traffic. Elara saw none of this beautiful chaos. She only saw the error. Finally, she tracked the source to the main balance wheel. Under her powerful light, she saw it, a single, shimmering speck of ancient, iridescent material, a chronon particle, lodged deep within a tiny groove. It was beautiful, impossible, and utterly ruining her universe. Holding a micro-tool, she prepared to pluck out the particle and restore the pristine, relentless order. The focus was absolute. She was so consumed by the finality of the fix that she failed to notice the slick patch of lubricant oil beneath her polished boot. Her foot slipped. She stumbled violently, her micro-tool flying wide. Instead of removing the particle, her body lurched against a heavy, weathered iron mechanism, the emergency brake lever. With a deafening, metallic thud, the entire Chronos apex mechanism ground to a halt. The great clock hands froze, suspended. A profound, shocking silence fell over the city. Elara pushed herself up, her heart hammering against the brass-cold air. She stared out the high window. The city had stopped. People were frozen mid-stride, mid-laugh, mid-gesture, suspended in an unnerving, profound stillness. For the first time in her life, Elara was not running against a deadline or checking a gauge. She looked back at the Cronon particle. It had not been a destroyer, it was a catalyst. The one tiny imperfection she had fought against had created 1,000 moments of unplanned joy outside. The world was better for being slightly off schedule, better for having a margin of error. With newfound clarity, Elara released the brake. The clock restarted, the massive gears turning with a low, resonant hum. She did not remove the particle. Instead, she adjusted the clock's primary weight and, with conscious intention, introduced a tiny, calculated breath, a permanent, accepted slack, into the entire system. The clock would now run with a gentle, accepted drift, the particle remaining embedded as a constant, glittering reminder. She removed her sharp coat, ran a hand through her tightly pulled-back hair, and descended the winding staircase. Final shot. Elara stepped out of the tower and into the now moving, flowing city. She did not check her watch. She looked up, took a deep breath of the evening air, smiled, and walked into the unplanned current of the evening, embracing the delightful, beautiful chaos that a single second of imperfection had finally allowed her to experience.